Well, good morning all. It is just gone 7 o'clock in the morning. It's cold here. It's about 600 metres above sea level, and we're heading to Zagreb. And looking at this, it's a long way. So maybe I should have got started, because it says we're not going to be there until 6:10 tonight. Looking at that screen, that's rather worrying. But we'll see how we go. If we're late, we're late. Only do what you can do, can't you? But hey, what a rush, man. It is really cold. I can't believe it. It's cold. It's 5 degrees here. And what a contrast. I mean, we're right down in Bavaria. And I'm expecting it to be cold, and the weather forecast is dire for going across the Alps. There's a big storm, so I don't know how much filming I'm going to get done here this morning, but obviously we're just leaving Eresing, which is a lovely little town, I've got to say. But all these little German towns are just beautiful, aren't they? Little beer garden there. I bet if the sun's shining up here, it's just right. I keep talking about the sun, don't I? But as soon as we see some, I tell you what, I think I'll be screaming in joy. I don't like being cold, but I'm not cold here at all. This is I'm warm as toast in all this gear, but it is pretty cold here today. So we'll see how it goes. Excellent. Well, look, enjoy the ride for a bit. I'll turn this camera off in a bit when we get going on. I've got to say, this motorbike is a joy to ride. It really, really is. It's so comfortable. Even the stock seat. I mean, I've done I guess about 800 miles now, something like that. But this the stock seat on this is I mean, your bum gets a little bit sore, but it's nothing drastic. You know, you get used to it. And the bike is tall enough so you can just hang your legs off the side and just let your legs dangle down by the side, which is really quite nice, and stretching your legs, that sort of thing. So you don't feel fatigued at all when you get off it, which is pretty cool, really. I did think about getting the 1250, but bloody hell, I mean, this is heavy enough at about 280 kilos, fully loaded. God knows what it's going to be like when I start to get to do some of this off-road stuff. It's going to be, and it's going to be quite warm weather, I should think, as well. So, very interesting. Okay. Left here. ,130 metres, go right, nice to see kids walking to school on their own. Blimey, you can just see, it's just, you feel that it's just a lot safer and the community is a lot better here. I don't mean to continually slag off the UK, but it's definitely changed. You know, in my lifetime, well, I'm 58 years old, but it's definitely changed, and not for the better. You know, rubbish everywhere. Not much sense of community. There's people in the street that don't talk to each other. I don't know, I just get a sense of it. My landlady last night, Sabine, she was really friendly, played a double bass. You know, you could just tell she's a really gentle person, you know, yoga and just getting into just nice things, and the community was there. You know, there's loads of kids there this morning walking to school, said hello, good morning, Morgan. You know, that's really quite a nice thing, isn't it? I do miss that. Well, from when I was a kid, we've got like going around to neighbours' houses and stuff. It was good. All right, enough reminiscing. Let's get on, onwards and upwards. There's a lot of properties here with personal solar panels. Now, I'm in the energy industry and as a heating designer, but I'm not a big fan of wind or solar. I've got to say, I don't like anything that is intermittent, really. But there is an argument for personal solar at home, and I quite like the idea of being a little bit more kind of off grid if you can do it. But obviously you're going to need some sort of battery backup, or if you can't have battery backup, then being able to kind of, you know, pump it back into the grid and get some money back, I guess. But yeah, I'm an advocate of that, but that's about as far as I go. I think in my opinion, let's not get political, but in my opinion, I think it's only nuclear really, hydro and geothermal really that I think have got any kind of gravitas to make reliable a source of energy, reliable, something that's not intermittent and stuff like that. You know, so Iceland seems to be doing a really good job of it. Mind you, they kind of live on a volcanic island, but I mean, we live on an iron ore planet, you know, with a molten core, so geothermally we've got loads there if we wanted it. I guess it's just getting it. But the sun don't always shine and the wind don't always blow, as they say. My brother-in-law lives in Germany. He lives in Hildesheim, and you heard his music, the Two Women Blues, yesterday. That was a track that he wrote and sang and played, which I put on as my sort of introduction ride. Yeah, we're going to be putting on loads of music from various different people. I've also subscribed to a channel for some other ambient music and various other stuff. But I'm trying to get as many local musicians and people that have made their own music, and if I think it's reasonably good and stuff like that, then we'll put it up on the channel for free. But obviously copyright free, as I said right in the very first episode. But yeah, if you want to have your music played on one of these videos, if you like it, then please just mention in the comments, put a comment in there and put a link to your music, and I'll have a listen to it. If it's any good, I'll download it, or I'll contact you and get the MP4 file or whatever, yeah, we'll go from there. Perfect. I expect to see some fairly epic scenes today as we cross the Alps. And it'd be absolutely wonderful, wouldn't it, if the clouds disappeared. I don't think that's going to happen though, to be fair. Probably could have put the liners back in my trousers because the legs are a little bit nipped now. Let's see how we go. Yeah, 600 kilometres today. It's a big day. Bit of lane filter in this morning, Jesus. In a strange city. It's going to be a warm one today. Lovely, finally got it. As soon as I came through the Dolomites yesterday, as soon as I got to the Austrian Alps, as soon as I came through those yesterday, it was just amazing, the difference. It was like 4 degrees up in the Alps like that, and I was cold. I put on loads and loads of different layers and waterproofs and everything because it was lashing down with rain. But as soon as I went through the tunnel, it was a long tunnel. I can't remember the name of it. I'll have to find out the name of it, or if someone knows, stick it in the post. But can you come out into you come into Slovenia? But it's a really long downhill tunnel. And as soon as I came out the other side of that, it was like going into a completely different world. like 21 degrees and just unbelievable. And it just got warmer and warmer as I got further south into through Slovenia and then into Croatia. Really interesting ride and absolutely stunning pictures of the countryside of Croatia. What a beautiful, beautiful country. Well, and Slovenia as well. I mean, they all are. They've all got slightly different flavours to them, which is quite apparent when you're riding through. You can see the cultural differences in buildings and all sorts of things like that, but it's just, it's lovely. I've got to say, Zagreb is a very, very old city. And it reminds me a little bit of Berlin in places. Even these little trams that come round. Massive day tomorrow when I leave Zagreb and go over to Romania. It's about an 800 kilometre ride, I think, 780 kilometre ride, 8.5 hours of solid riding, maybe more. There's all tolls as well all the way, so it's going to be a bit of a boring day again, but once that's over and then I start heading in towards Bulgaria, then I can slow down a little bit and take my time. What a fantastic meal I had last night at this steakhouse. Oh my God, the guys from Panasonic really know how to put on a bit of a deal. And I had three pints of this craft beer that they do, a local craft beer called Griff. And God, my head is banging a bit this morning. I only had 3 pints. It was like, blimey. Well, not even 3 pints. They weren't as big as pints. I guess that's what you get for not being on the sauce for over a week. Or something like that, a week or so. Do getting up some speed, get some wind on my face and cool me down. It's quite warm. That's more like it. I'm actually riding my bike with just jeans and trainers on this morning because obviously I'm going to do some teaching in it. I don't want to have all my motorbike gear on. And changing gear in trainers compared to wearing your big old motorbike boots is I'm missing gears because it feels like I'm wearing nothing on my feet. It's bizarre. Just get used to it. Oh, that wind on my face is lovely. Apart from a fly, went straight in my eye. I've got to say, I don't know about you lot, but I'm not a big fan of cities at all. They're the same wherever you go. All you can smell is fumes and pollution and God knows what. I'd much rather be out in a smaller village. But needs must. Of course, got no boxes on now, so I can filter properly. One thing the guys were saying last night at the meal is that there was like 10 or 12 different Balkan states that all got kind of merged into one, and it's kind of really weird. All of these areas are very, very proud, very historical and cultural people. With cultural differences and stuff like that, and it's I mean, the wars that this area has gone through over the years is horrific. What these poor people have suffered, at the hands of, frankly horrible bastards. I don't know the full history of anything that has fully gone on, but I mean, just awful. Quite fun nipping through the traffic though, when you get a chance. It's a good thing about a bigger bike though, you've got quite a lot more presence. Croatia was telling me last night, Croatia's only got 4 million people in the whole of the country. I reckon most of them live here. Cool, that's an old tram, that one there, look at that. Mark 1. I must check the oil today in the bike as well. I've never understood why BMW's new bikes have such a thin oil. It's only 5W40. All their previous bikes were 10W40. And in fact, in my old 800 GS that I had, I put in 1540 because that's what I was recommended. And the bike, I must say, the bike ran a lot quieter and a lot smoother. Well, the engine did. This, when it gets up to temperature, it sounds like a bag of old nails. So I wonder why. And you kind of wouldn't expect that on a brand new bike that's only done around, what, 2,000, how many miles have I done now? 2,355 miles is what I've done. You wouldn't expect those kind of noises. So I need to head off in 700 metres. Oh, it's so lovely to see the sunshine. It's nice, all the bikers here wave at each other, which is really nice. It's a community all across the world, that, isn't it? All bikers always wave or nod at each other, which is really quite nice, and it's nice and comforting if you're travelling on your own. You know that you're never really on your own, are you? You get a lot of those feelings play on your mind when you're doing a trip like this, just being completely on your own. But you never really are. The world is so well connected these days, and loneliness is a horrible, horrible emotion. I know, because I've felt it many a times myself. It's not pleasant. If anyone's feeling that, don't ever be ashamed. But always speak out. Always go and join clubs, and always go and speak to people. It's the worst possible thing, because you're tormenting yourself, and you're the only one who feels it, which makes it even worse. If I'm looking at a set of drawings or something like that, and I want to just double check a few of the architect's calculations, I'll just draw out a little graph like that, write down what the building material is, on that side, put my thickness in, put my conductivity in, and add the R value, calculate them out, and just put a total amount there to see what they've got. All right, I just draw it. You can draw it out really quickly and stuff like that if I'm doing longhand. But then, if I'm going to calculate and convert to the U value, has anyone seen that symbol before?
Yeah, sample.
Yeah, it's the sum of. Yeah, it's the sum of. And all we've got to do, because if that is, let's go back to that. If that is metre squared Kelvin per watt of your R value, we actually don't. We want to just turn that equation upside down to get watts per metre squared. Yeah.